Okay, this week it's actual review time. So the champion program, I just finished. As of this recording, I finished it yesterday. So it's a 5-week program. It was made a couple years ago, as of this recording, kind of in response to the AX Live event. So of course, like as always, I have one of my AX shirts on. So this one's 2023 from a couple years ago. So in the extreme level, no one got out of the room. So, in a sense, kind of like I said, in response to that, Jeff Cavalier made the champion program to kind of be able to have people gear up for it. And of course, it's not just for that. You could also gear yourself up for other athletic events because it's designed to get yourself, in a sense, geared up for an event or in a sense, the AX Live event, or like maybe you're like working towards stepping into the octagon of the UFC. It's that kind of concept and everything. So now, the way this is set up and everything is like you got in essence like a pre-game, like a warm-up, and then like the actual game, and then you got like overtime, and then like you've got like a corrective exercise. As my cat wants to join us. Yep, here he is, the star of the show. Here he is to tell us to get stuff done and everything. Yeah, aren't you? Yes, you need so much attention, don't you? Yes. Are you going to tell people that they need to do this? Yeah. You telling them like, yeah, get into the champion program. It's worth it. Yeah. Yeah. You gonna get going or no? Yeah, it looks like he's here to stay. So, anyway, so for instance, like with like, you done? Yeah. Ready? There you go. Okay, that distraction is over. So, like for instance, like the pregame, like for instance, you start out with like when you first start the program, you start out with the pregame of like push-ups. So you do in a sense one set, but you do that to failure, and then you get into like actual like your warm-up or whatever. You do like a barbell squats, and like the way it's designed is like you take your 1 rep max, and it has like a loading phase. So like for it has like a based on like maybe you can only like squat like your body weights or like a 1 to 1, and then another one is 1 and 1.5 times your body weight, and then like the third phase is 2 times your body weight. So you're like either doing like maybe 3 sets of 12, or like maybe like 3 sets of I should say like 3 sets of 5, maybe like then second one would be like maybe 3 sets of 8 or something, and first one is at like 80% of your max, the next one's at like maybe 65% of your max, and then like the third one is like a 1 set, but you do 20 reps at like 50% of your max. Like for instance, like someone like me who could do 2 times my body weight at like say I'm just pulling out numbers of like 400 pounds. You take 50% of that and you do, okay, well, that's 200 pounds. You do 1 set of like 20 reps at 200 pounds, and now you get into the actual work. Hey, you gonna help me explain stuff? Yeah? 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 You're gonna help out? Yes? You're helping that explain the Metcons? Yeah? Yeah, so he's here to explain the Metcons. So like in a sense what you got is like a 2 triple sets, and you have the only rest time you have is pretty much transition. Like for instance, once you're done to like the push-ups to failure, you do the 1 set of like 20 reps of squats at 200 pounds, like that I use for example. You then do barbell squats, dumbbell alternating lunges, and dumbbell jump squats as 1 Metcon. So you do 5 rounds of that, and like the only rest you get is transition between each exercise. So the barbell squats, what you're going to do is 3 reps. Then the alternating lunges, you do 5 reps with each leg. Then you do 8 reps of the dumbbell jump squats. And what you do is you do 5 continuous rounds of that. Yeah, even you did him, huh? Yeah, it's like, oh yes, you just want like attention so you can get your workout in. So, like I said, in essence, what you're doing is 5 rounds of 3, 5, and 8 reps of the barbell squats, dumbbell alternating lunges, and dumbbell jump squats. And the only rest you get is transition with those 5 rounds. So you go barbell squats, alternating lunges, dumbbell jump squats, back to barbell squats, dumbbell lunges, jump squats. You do that 5 times, and then you get like a pretty much like a 60-90 second rest before you do the next one. So you go in and you do like a dumbbell. All right, buddy. I need both my hands here real quick. So go get your brother. Yeah. So the second Metcon, a dumbbell over and backs. There's one. You do 10 reps of that, 10 reps of the high pulls, dumbbell high pulls, and then you do 10 reps of dumbbell RDLs. Four rounds of that continuous between each one. So once you do all 3 exercises, that's 1 round. Then you do 3 more right after that, and the only rest you get is transition. Then you get like another 90-second rest before you get into landmine complex. So you get like a 4-minute AMRAP, as many reps as possible. So like for instance, like you do like a thrust and grab, and then you'd rotate, and then you do thrust and grab, and then you rotate, thrust and grab, rotate, like for like 4 minutes. Like you're in essence doing a press with one arm. You're rotating to that side. You come back and you press with the other side, and then you're rotating to that side. Or what you're doing is like you're doing like a press. You do alternating reverse lunges, and then you rotate to each side. Or another complex that you use is a clean. You go then to a front squat, and then when you stand up, you do an overhand press, and then you go into a thruster. So there's another type of landmine complex that you use, and you do that as a concept of 4 minutes, as many reps as possible. And so then once you get done that, you go then into what's known as overtime. For instance, like with this workout, you use dumbbell goblet squats. So you do 100 within 4 minutes. So you, in essence, you have now 4 minutes in overtime to get 100 dumbbell goblet squats, as this guy's trying to show us up and everything. So then what you do is you finish the workout with a corrective exercise. So for this one, like you do like kneeling banded hip thrusts. Yes, you just need attention now that I'm doing the videos, huh? Yes, sir, you need attention. So that's kind of like the beginning of it. And so what you do as you progress, what it does is like you just, for the first couple weeks you're doing something like that, but then like weeks 3 and 4, you're upping it. Instead of doing 5 and 4 rounds, you're doing 6 and 5 rounds. And then instead of doing 4 minutes, you're upping it to like maybe like weeks 2 and 3, you're upping it to 5 minutes, and then you're upping it to like 6 minutes. The 4th week for your AMRAPs for the landmine complex. And like for instance, like whether you do like 100 dumbbell goblet squats in 4 minutes, 100 push-ups within 4 minutes, or maybe 50 pull-ups in like say 9 minutes or something, you're doing you're in a sense decreasing like yes, I know you're annoying with like push-ups and like the dumbbell squats. Like what they do is like in a sense, instead of doing 4 minutes, you have then like 3 minutes. With like the pull-ups, maybe you do 25 in 9 minutes, and it ups it to 50 in 9 minutes and everything. So, and of course you always finish the workouts with like a corrective exercise. Like in the one example I used, the kneel and banded hip thrusts, or you do like the external rotations for your shoulders, or like you do like any number, like you could do any number of correctives and everything, but those are like the 2 that come to mind with this distraction in my hands. So, and then like you do have like in a sense like a test, like brief tests of workouts where like you might do like a couple of parts of the actual like and the event itself to kind of like do a test. Yeah, I'm trying to talk here. So now the last workout, what you pretty much do, and of course you also have like those are like a couple of the workouts that you get every week, and you have like conditioning workouts that are VO2 max conditions. So like you start off like the first couple of weeks like doing as much distance as possible in like 12 minutes. So you get on like a elliptical or a treadmill or whatever, and you just basically are doing all of sprint for 12 minutes and trying to get as much distance as possible. So both weeks I got about a mile and a half on them, and then like it switches over to do sprints. So like for instance, you do 4 minutes of like 20 seconds on and 10 seconds off. So like to that you do that to be able to increase your VO2 max, because you kind of have to be able to do that to compete in like the athlean games. So one of the last workouts I had, it was like, for instance, like dead arm hangs for like 30 seconds 3 times. You had like a dumbbell suitcase carries 4 times for 20 yards on each side. So like I was training at the extreme level, and like I said, of course it said do 100 pounds, and of course I go to Planet Fitness, and the most they have is 75-pound dumbbells. So to increase the intensity, what I did is, since they didn't have 100-pound dumbbells, so I could use one on one side, what I did is I used both 75 pounds and one in each hand, and I did the 4 by 20 yards, and the 20 yards 4 times. And like for instance, sprints, like I was talking about, 4 minutes, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off, and then you have like 90 box breathing. So where you do is like you lay on the floor and you basically 90 degrees for your feet on a bench for 5 minutes, and then like or it was like yeah, because the 6 minutes is for the next workout. And the final workout of the program is the actual kind of like a dry run of the AX live event. So like I went and figured, okay, I was going to try and up it the intensity, so that way I could like be able to like, hey, look, try and go through it. But like, no, I'm going to be competing at a level 1. I figure might as well try to do a dry run of level 1. So I had to in essence do 10 ring rows, 20 cone hops, dumbbell suitcase case carry with like 45 pounds one side, with like 40, like pretty much 40 yards back and forth, 20 yards one side, 20 yards the other side. Murder complex, I took 45-pound dumbbell, 10 goblet squats, 5 squat thrusts, a second round of 10 goblet squats and 5 squat thrusts, and then a third round of just 10 goblet squats. Then you go to do 10 hand release push-ups. So you don't sit there and just do 10 push-ups. You do 1 push-up, you release your hands, and then you do like your second push-up, release your hands, and you do 10 like that. And then you do 60 jump ropes. So 6 minutes to do all of that, and then you get out and you do the 500-meter row. So last year I lost by like 4 seconds. I had a time of 6:49, and like good old Spider-Man beat me with a time of 6:46. So if I had gotten 4 seconds better, I would have won last year. So, but with the dry run of doing everything, 10 ring rows, 20 cone hops, the dumbbell suitcase carries, and of course I took both, instead of just doing one and then the other, I took 2 45-pound dumbbells back and forth. I did the murder complex with a 45-pound dumbbell, the hand release push-ups, the jump ropes, and the 500-meter row. Now the test run I did, it was 6 minutes and 35 seconds. So not only did I do better than last year, of course it was kind of a dry run and like different setting, going to like a Planet Fitness than an actual event and everything. So I was like, okay, you kind of have to take that with a grain of salt. But I did better. Second thing is, now I do have a time to beat. So like this dry run, I got like 6 minutes and 35 seconds to beat and everything. So when I release this, it'll be on like a usual Saturday. So by the time like I'll have like only like a few days before I go down on the following Wednesday. So we'll be releasing a bunch of videos for that event, just like always. So this is kind of my review of the champion program, and I feel like it was a success because like I feel like I've been able to go through it and get myself ready for the AX Live event. And so I'm not too big on, or not too keen on repeating programs, but I do plan on repeating this next time, or around this time next year, for the next year's AX Live event. So that way, like, oh hey, look, I already know the workouts, and so now I can, in a sense, start pushing myself even more. So here is the review of the champion program. So I would say definitely get into it and definitely getting after it.